In this current climate, day and time, information needs to be given clearly. In this case, Clear Vision with 2020 is a podcast for the people, by the people, that does exactly that. Your host keeps an open eye and mind when dealing with any issue at hand. We empower our audience with knowledge. You matter. And here, I use my voice to support and represent the people. The people are the human family who loves truth. Logical thinking and conversation skills are required for communication. News, culture, music, and entertainment with a clear look from a different perspective. Clear Vision with 2020. Peace, family. It's your brother 2020, and this is episode 2, maybe 3 of Open Conversations. Here at Clear Vision, every now and then we have some conversations about some stuff. This conversation is going to be about current events and a few things that, I did want to talk about in particular. So what we're going to do is we're going to start it off with, we're going to give our condolences to all the people that were lost over the weekend. The Brown University shooting, the shooting overseas. Some people are saying that they're wondering if it was a false flag operation and these individuals that got hurt ended up getting hurt behind some government stuff. Rob Reiner and his wife, I can't remember what her name is right now, but Mr. and Mrs. Rob Reiner were taken today, and their son is the main suspect. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. It's a lot of stuff to talk about. What is the world coming to today? I guess we have to really ask ourselves that. We have to ask ourselves that in the sense that it just has to be talked about. It's getting to the point where we're past the out of hand. We're really past that. We're past out of hand. We are at the point now to where I'm wondering if this stuff is scripted, meaning that it's already set up to be put in motion, and then it's just moving like clockwork, or it could be something other than that. Children killing their parents. I know y'all done heard that before. I wonder where y'all heard that. Possibly could have been the Bible, but that's another story too. Wars, rumors of wars, pestilence, people over in these different countries getting ambushed, killed. It's a lot of stuff going on, man. It really is. So this is the open conversation today. The StreamYard link is in the description. Let me see if I can put it in the chat real quick. Y'all get a 10% discount, you know what I'm saying, when y'all want to level up. That's the StreamYard link for, the live, if y'all looking at it. Like I said, level up.
I'm gonna bring the link back up. I'm gonna find it real quick. And I'm gonna bring it back up, and I'm gonna throw it in the chat for anybody, who might want to jump on or something. But first things first. Guess we're gonna start it off with this. A lot of these deaths that's been going on. First one we're gonna kick it off with Mr. and Mrs. Rob Reiner was stabbed to death. Okay, we're gonna kick it off with that. Go over here to the news real quick. But I have it here, but you know what we'll do. We'll just type it in real quick. Then we're gonna get into what Trump had the nerve to call his cell phone too. So let's go with it has to do with my history. I wanted to share. I think, well, let's see. Let me see. We're gonna pull up Karen Hunt. She's always, she's always on point when it comes to talking about different things in this case.
Imagine being able to build anything.
I see you, Crenshaw Mafia. Y'all brothers all right out there? I'm gonna turn this music down real quick. Then we're gonna listen to this video right after I skip.
Just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
It's not hard to reveal that stuff. It's only hard to reveal that stuff to then get told you're a spoiled white rich kid, and it's like, okay, maybe all these things.
Well, who would say that to you? Not your dad.
No,
but
the world. Listen, I had to talk to him about this. Listen, I know what it's like to be the son of, and to have people assume certain things about you, and it's very, very difficult.
Well, how did you handle that?
Well, I mean,
obviously you didn't go to drugs, but you must have had those issues. Your father's an
icon. But
go follow her.
You just have to know what you do, and that you have to block out all that extraneous noise. And it's hard for him because this is the first time he's, all of a sudden there's a lot of attention. People are talking, and he has the double whammy. He's got me and he got his grandfather, and they're going to say whatever the heck they want, but they don't know.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back, and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together.
I like her clothing line.
The rule of law is on our side.
That glow.
We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate.
Y'all go hit her website, man. Go check her out.
We will not bend. We will
very sensible
survive.
Woman, for real. Check her out.
Oscar-nominated Rob Reiner. Meathead. Those of us who grew up watching
Family.
Archie Bunker. Remember Sally Struthers and Rob Reiner, meathead. He was the hippie with all of the liberal thoughts and ideas, and he grew into a man with a lot of thoughts about humanity that were really on point. He married Penny from Laverne and Shirley. They were married for 10 years. Penny Marshall. Yep. She made transition, but he remarried, and he had a daughter with her, and he had 3 children with his current wife, Michelle. Well, apparently, according to all of the published reports, he and Michelle were found dead yesterday afternoon in their Brentwood home. Their bodies were discovered with multiple stab wounds by, I think, one of their children who lived down the street. I don't know what.
Yeah, the daughter found them. She went to the house and she found them. She found their bodies. So, when let's just be honest about the situation, man. What would cause your child to want to do something like that to you? Now, it was said, allegedly, for right now, I just say allegedly, that he was an ex-alcoholic, drug addict, whatever, and was still in recovery. Now, who do you blame for that? You can't blame the parents, because no parent want their child on drugs, right? So, it's one of the things I always say. When you're a parent, 50% of your parenting is in the house. That's when you start to set up you're helping set up the personality of the child that you have been given as a gift by God, blessed with. So you start the personality development in the house. So it's 50% on you. But you have to prepare them to go out into the world, because once they go out there, then they have to deal with every type of personality, every type of attitude, people with different outlooks on life, people with different attitudes in life. So you have to be able to prepare them for that too. Don't lie to them, tell them the truth. But the daughter found them, and it's just crazy. It's really crazy how these type of things go down. But this is the world we living in. We are living in Satan's world. So we do have to keep that in mind no matter what it is we do. But rest in peace to Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. This just, I know death is going to come, but for it to be unexpected like that, you really have to have your mind and your soul prepared for anything that could possibly go down. You see what I'm saying? So if somebody in your family is going through some stuff, it's almost like you have to prepare yourself for what's going to happen. Whether you want to or not, you have to prepare yourself for what's going to happen. So, like she said, he grew up and had some pretty decent ideas about life. But let's continue.
What that must feel like to walk into your parents' home and find them dead and stabbed, because stabbing is such the violence of that, the violence of to stab somebody to death. It's not like the movies.
No, it's not.
It's not like the movies.
Mm-hmm.
It is so horrific. And then to find out that the son, who is now in custody, is responsible, Nick. The 3 of them, and he just moved back home. Rob Reiner, his wife Michelle, and Nick had just attended Conan O'Brien's Christmas party on Saturday. At the party, Rob and Nick got into an argument loud enough for other people to hear. according to TMZ, who rarely gets it wrong, unfortunately. And that Rob and Michelle then left the party, and apparently whatever happened next ended in their lives at the hand of their son.
Wow.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why this happened. I don't have any answers for it. I do have a clip of Rob Reiner and his son on a talk show. Maybe it was a podcast, Paul Melurio, last year. They were just on the show last year. Play the clip, Smiz.
It's not hard to reveal that stuff. It's only hard to reveal that stuff to then get told you're a spoiled white rich kid, and it's like, okay, maybe all these things.
Well,
but
who would say that to you? Not your dad.
No, but
world.
the world, listen, I had to talk to him about this. Listen, I know what it's like to be the son of, and to have people assume certain things about you, and it's very, very difficult.
Well, how did you handle that?
Well, I mean,
obviously you didn't go to drugs, but you must have had those issues. Your father's an icon.
In the 60s, there was plenty of drugs around. But you just have to know what you do, and that you have to block out all that extraneous noise. And it's hard for him because this is the first time he's, all of a sudden there's a lot of attention. People are talking, and he has the double whammy. He's got me and he got his grandfather, and they're going to say whatever the heck they want, but they don't know. They don't know what he's experienced. They don't know what he's gone through. They don't know why he's done what he does. And and it's pretty dumb, pretty ignorant of people to say just because you're born and you have money, and that doesn't mean anything. People have their own issues.
Human beings
regardless.
are complicated, messed up,
and also it's like the Kardashians can go shopping and complain about how there's no air conditioning in the fucking store, and no one bashes them. It's like, I wrote a movie about doing drugs and having a hard time, and people still,
people have really said stuff about that.
Oh yes,
that's
absolutely
insane to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you have to keep yourself focused and know what you do. Know what you do. This is what we set out to do.
Right.
And I told him, while we were making the movie, I said, I don't care what happens. I don't care if people, they don't even see the movie. Nobody wants to see. I said, we're winning. We are winning.
Yeah.
Because we're throwing ourselves into our work.
Yeah.
And good things are coming out of it.
Absolutely.
And hopefully it can help some people, because we've been on some shows. We were on a show the other day on NPR where people were calling in and were saying, thank you so much for, sharing your story. And they were telling us about what they were going through. And so if you can be helpful in that way, then that's good.
See, sharing your story means more to the world than what they try to let off. We all need to know that we're not going through the same thing. No, let me take that back. We all need to know we're not going through things alone, that we're not the only one that's experiencing this. Sometimes it just takes somebody else to say, hey, in an intimate setting, in a private setting or whatever, an email, a text message to somebody to let them know, look, I was going through this too. And this is how I handled it. Or I was going through this too. So if you ever need somebody that you want to talk to, reach out to me, so on and so forth. We need to be there for each other. There's no reason why we can't be there for each other. And making movies and shows and having talks on platforms like this about some of the things that we go through can help somebody out immensely. You just never know until you do it, But I hope they figure out what happened, man. It's sad that his son had to be the one, Now in this case, I'll say that the mayor of Utah, the mayor of the city that Charlie Kirk got killed in, when he said it for a whole nother reason. He didn't want it to be one of them who hurt this man. He wanted it to be somebody else. So he could say, well, it wasn't nobody from Utah, so it didn't happen with us. But anyway, rest in power. Rest in peace to Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle. Murder is never a good thing, but at the same time, some people just You just never know. It's a hard pill to swallow, I guess. You know, shout out to Karen for the clip there. Yeah, y'all go check out the Karen Hunter show. You see it right here, you know, and she has her own radio show on Sirius XM as well. You know, y'all go check her out. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about real briefly is, yeah, if y'all haven't watched it, y'all need to go and watch it. Go to Clear Vision and watch the video I just put out. It's called Haters and Perpetrators Posing as Intellectuals. Okay. Y'all go check that out. Because if y'all don't know who I'm talking about, y'all probably gonna figure out who I'm talking about by the time I get to talking about him. And if you don't know about him, then this is going to be your first time hearing. But we're going to keep it brief and we're going to keep it real straight to the point. I'm going to make another video specifically about him that's going to give more detail about what I'm about to say today. You know, so I don't know if y'all heard about this bro Sanchez. You know, being from down south. How did you get the last name Sanchez being black? I mean, I'm just asking, you know, because I never known any black Sanchez's unless they've married into the family. You know, Sanchez is supposed to be either a Mexican or a Latin surname. I don't know how black people would get the last name Sanchez, but that's something totally different. But he was on this rant. Basically, he got upset because he watched one of Brother Ben's videos about Yakub's grafted devils. Okay. He don't believe the story. So what? Nobody care what you believe, whether you believe it or not. The whole point of the matter is white people are here, and that is no disrespect to nobody. They here on the planet. How did they get here? You might want to ask yourself that. And that's not nothing bad. I mean, everybody has an origin story. Everybody has an origin story. But us. Because we've been told a whole lot of stuff about how we got here. When we got here because we were cursed. The cursed sons of Ham. Who said that? Said we used to have tails and all of that. Who came up with all of this stuff? Saying those things. But it's strange when the story of creation comes out when it has to do with white people, which it shouldn't be, because everybody has to come from somewhere. Right? So he just went on a rampage about the whole thing, talking about how he don't like, and I'm just going to use his words because I really don't talk like this, but he was talking about how he don't like bow tie, pinstripe suit wearing niggas, and every time he seen them, he think of a grift, and every time, you know, somebody says something about the Nation of Islam, then all of a sudden it's a grift. He see a grift involved, like somebody trying to steal. Can't nobody steal from you what you don't give them. I mean, if you don't give it to them and then they want to plot and plan it, a way to steal it from you, then they gonna do it. Other than that, ain't no brother in no bow tie or no suit in the history of this nation ever grifted anybody. Never talked to anybody out of anything. Talked them out of it to like take it from them. You know, they have so many creative ways to ask the family to donate to the cause. That's all it is. That's it. It's just that simple. But he just went on the whole rant. He made a 7-hour and 30-minute video. And he just tried to go through all types of different scenarios, had people on there, basically trying to make them look bad and all of this stuff. I'm gonna tell him like this. I mean, it's just plain and simple. You can get as mad as you want to get, and you can try to talk about how nobody can prove it, but it doesn't have to be proven. How did we get here? Let's start with that first. Since you don't believe anything about the story of Yakub and all of that stuff, and then had the nerve to say, well, out of everything that Black people can create, we gonna create evil. No. But yet you said it though. And it's like, you don't think that anybody's going to have anything to say to you about that. And, like I said, I don't watch a few of his videos. And to be truthful with you, what I'm saying? He seems like the new version of Charleston White. That's all that is. You know what I'm saying? This is another Charlie White. This is a new version of Charleston White. That's what that is. That's that Charleston White energy. You want to say as many negative things as you can say, but we know for a fact that you would never go up to one of them brothers in them pinstripe suits and bow ties and say that stuff to their face. We already know that. It's an online gimmick. You know what I'm saying? It's all what they call it. It's all cat. It's all cat. I mean, I got some clips on my page from his video because, like I said, don't nobody want to sit and listen to you talk all of this mess for 7 whole hours. So I clipped some stuff. He really sounded stupid talking about what he say. He on one point he said something about y'all follow a foreigner. Like what? A foreign? What are you talking about, bro? No. We are the original people of the whole planet. There is nowhere on this planet that we're foreign to. So don't ever get that twisted. And we're talking about people of color. Yeah, Arabs are not. I ain't gonna even say people of color. We're talking about original people. Black people are the original people, the aboriginal people of the planet. Everybody, every race of people on the planet came from us. Whether you want to believe it or not, you can take it or leave it alone. It don't matter. Where did they come from? I explained this. I explained this to a friend of mine. I said, have you noticed something? And I was sitting up and thinking about this. Was probably about a good 15, 20 years ago. I was thinking about this. I'm just riding around Indianapolis. Then I get home and I'm sitting there. And this was back in the days when I used to smoke. So I done lit one up. I'm in a car just relaxing pretty much, smoking, keep minding my own business. And I got to thinking, I got to reflect on my trip. And I'm like, damn. Every single group of people, you can put them next to each other and it'll be like a progression from the darkest all the way to the lightest. Black people, then I call them so-called brown, but they just another color of us, Mexican, Latino, what they call Southern, Central, and South American people, and all the colors that they are of black. Okay. Then you got the Japanese people who are, a little bit brown, a little bit lighter, but they kind of like a brownish Then you got the Chinese people who are more yellowish, but they still got crazy. If y'all haven't never seen Crazy Rich Asians, go watch that, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Then you got Caucasian people. So we range all the way through. So therefore, where do you think Caucasian people came from? If you don't, if you really got a problem with the story, then where do you think they came from? He never said that. He was talking about things like, you know, we were spiritual beings just looking down on this plane, wanting to come down here. So what we decided to do was we decided to manipulate the situation and the things that was going on in the earth. So our father can run into our mother, have an encounter, and then we can come down through that portal. And now I admit, you know, the woman is the gateway to life for all of us. But if you're saying that you believe in that, where did they come from still? You still didn't explain that. You know, and don't think I didn't watch the video, because I did. I can go into more things, but I ain't even going to do that on this one. I'm going to do that again on another one. And I'm going to get even more in depth with you, you know, because you was really sounding like you was just really mad and angry and upset, and you just didn't know how to deal with your emotions. You sounded like real emotional, you know, almost to the point where you was damn near ready to have an emotional breakdown. So you had to have a 7-hour ranting session about how bad the Nation of Islam is. For whatever reason you wanted to. I guess you had to get it off your chest. I mean, that's what we got to do sometimes. But that energy was real suspect. That energy was real suspect. Just seemed like you just got so mad about the story. I mean, at times, you know, at times it just seemed to me like you wasn't even really there. It was just some type of energy that just took over you. You just started talking out the side of your neck, just talking absolutely crazy for no reason about some people that you probably don't even talk to or interact with. And if you did interact with them at one point, now you're talking bad about them. So what does that make you? Go watch the video. Haters and perpetrators posing as intellectuals. Go watch it, and then just tell me what you think after you watch it. Because I just went through the first hour of the stuff that he was talking about, and I made a 2-hour and 52-minute video just based off the first hour of all the stuff he was saying. That's how much nonsense he was talking that he wanted somebody to listen to. But then I went on his page and started looking at all his different videos, and I was like, oh, this is the type of stuff he talk about. So it just seemed like an online grift to me. You know, he just needed to find somebody to talk about so he could get some followers and have some people in the comments. You know, I'm doing this all organic, you know, and I'm talking about stuff that actually matter. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about stuff that actually matter to the world right now. You know, the things that's going on. I'm not picking a group of people and just deciding I want to talk about them. So I said we got a couple of comments here. Let's show that. Let's see what he says. At a snowy man, meaning refracts through the curvature of attention, not the substance of events. What appears as purpose is merely continuity, misremembering itself forward. Now, I see all of the words that you using and everything, whatever all of that is supposed to mean. I mean, you got to make that, you got to clear that up at Snowy Man. You got to clear that up a little bit. You can put something else in the comment, but I mean, you're gonna have to explain that a little bit, because all those big words they don't really mean nothing if you don't have anything necessarily behind it that you're trying to explain. You know, meaning refracts. I know when something refracts, I know it reflects or breaks up, you know, through the curvature of attention. Come on, man. I mean, you got to, you got to be a little bit more clear than that. Like, seriously. Huh. Well, hey, at least you jumped on here and left a comment. I'm that bad. Okay, that's fine. I mean, you know, to each his own. But getting back to what I was saying, we really have to begin to get some type of knowledge of what's really going on around us. Because sometimes we'll get so caught up wanting to get the bag, literally, that we'll do anything. We'll cap all day long. We'll jump and we'll talk about this person. We'll talk about that person. We'll say this, we'll say that, we'll say anything to get some attention. You know, I got a couple of other names that I usually call people that do that. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make a different way now. You know, when it's necessary to get called that, then yeah. But you know, some people you just know it's all an act. Okay. It's just all an act altogether. But while you're acting, the last thing you should be doing is talking about somebody that you don't even deal with like that. You don't deal with them like that. You don't like them like that. So you don't need to use them to get you some views. And you already know how the world feel about the nation to a degree and to a point. So you using the perfect, you using the perfect subject to get the people riled up about. And out of everything you decided to pick, you got triggered by a 2-minute video. A 2-minute video. Completely triggered. Like going off. You looking up white albinos and, you know, oh, white people make albino. I mean, anybody can make an albino. Is just a person that has no melanated pigmentation in their blood. So everything is just clear, pretty much. That could happen with anybody. That's true. But that shows you that inside the original man, like we said, is two different people. One dark, another one brown. And then when you break that all the way down to its last compound, you get what we call the white man today. Nobody else can explain how he got here. How did it happen? How? And that's just, I mean, it's just factual. It's just science. That's basically what it is. I used to say, if you can't put the word God next to science, then you really have to be a coward, because without God, there would be no science. It's just that simple. He's the creator of all things. So when he created himself, and then after he created himself, he created us as a place for himself to reside in. Thus is the beginning of science. He created 9. Now we say 10 working systems in the body that all work together to maintain the life that we have today. So what does that tell you? But yeah, So, bro, Sanchez, you went a little too far with all of the talking you was doing. All of that wasn't even necessary. You could have kept a lot of that to yourself and just talked about the fact that you didn't really agree with what he said, and you probably would have shorted the video up a little bit, but you really got in your feelings, bro. Like heavily in your feelings. Heavily in your feelings to the point where you just said anything that you could think of. Anything that came to your mind and your heart, boy, it came straight out of your mouth. 7 hours and 30 minutes of it. I would say you ought to be ashamed of yourself, but I ain't even gonna say that because that's just probably the type of individual that you are. But I mean, you might need to clean that up a little bit, bro. For real. You know, you might need to clean that up a little bit. And then I just seen some other videos where you was talking about some other people. You're doing the same thing. It's like you're going through what I call you're going through the usual suspects, the people that you don't agree with the most, and then you throw these videos out here. So I'm gonna do one for you. I'm just letting you know right now, I'm gonna do one for you. And we're gonna start with that one. And then we're gonna move on to a couple more. You know, I'm gonna do a couple, but see, I'm not gonna get over emotional like you did, though. I'm not gonna get over emotional and get to talking crazy about you like you did. I'm just gonna talk about the things that you said that didn't make no damn sense. You should have a whole lot more sense than that. Seriously. Being a grown man, you should have a whole lot more sense than that, bro. Because that wasn't even necessary. Seriously. That wasn't necessary at all. But yeah, that's enough about bruh Sanchez. We gonna get back to him though. Don't even worry about that. We gonna get back to him. Not in this open conversation, but we gonna get back to him though. You know, because he deserves a little bit more time to be spent on him, you know, because I don't think that people really understanding the cat. You know, he wear a cowboy hat as it is, so it ain't no telling what type of, you know, and he said that he was from the Creek, you know, that his roots go all the way back to the beginning of the 20th century. Bro, we've been here. We've been here. Just on this part of the continent, the world, since 1555. We've been on the planet, entire planet, for at least 60 trillion years, but we've been here since the beginning. Whether you want to believe it or not, don't matter. But we've been here since the beginning. You know, so the fact that your ancestors go back to the beginning of the 20th century, just like my grandparents go back to the beginning of the 20th century, the end of the 19th century. My grandmother and my grandfather was born in the late 1800s, early 20th century. Alabama, where you from? So stop acting like you the only one, bro. You're not the only one. I'm sorry, you're not the only one. It's 40 to 60 million of us here now. Back then, it was probably about 18 to 20 million. So you're not the only one. So stop acting like you got some type of, you know, like you got some type of lease on that. Like you got the contract, like you're the beginning of that, because you're not. And then if you want to start talking about the native side of you, that go back even farther, because the native, quote unquote, Native Americans, the Indians, the people who came over here from India, literally been over here for damn near 20,000 years before that. So, but anyway, let's move on to something, because I could talk about him for a minute, but let's move on to something else. We're gonna move on to something else. Like I said, I got that ready for a whole nother video. Now, if y'all didn't already know, there has been a shooting at Brown University. Brown University mass shooting. So we're going to check out this video right quick.
More on this from the Mayor of Providence, Brett Smiley. Mayor Smiley, thank you for joining us this morning. Let's start with the investigation. Why was this person of interest released? What more can you tell us?
So we continued to examine evidence after this individual had been detained. As you might have heard from the Attorney General.
Well, this was yesterday. So they're talking about a couple of people that they detained that they thought were actual suspects. They had them hemmed up pretty much, questioned them, and then they let them go. We're going to talk about them first, and then we're going to move on to something else.
Late last night here in Rhode Island, it takes time to run this evidence. It takes time to process information that was collected and hard evidence that was collected. And as we continued to process that evidence, it was determined that this person of interest needed to be released, and we continue with our investigation. To be clear, we've never stopped our investigation. Providence Police and our partners at State Police, the FBI, and others have continuously run down leads and worked this case beyond the person of interest who had been detained yesterday.
So you're absolutely convinced the person of interest had nothing to do with this?
We're not saying that definitively. What we're saying is that after a review of the evidence that was gathered, it was determined that the person of interest needed to be released. But until such time as we have an individual in custody who we're confident is responsible, that we're prepared to press charges and then prosecute, we're going to continue to leave all doors open until such time as that we're in a place where we feel confident that we've got the right person. But for now, the person of interest who had been detained has been released.
You said individual. Are you pretty convinced this was a lone shooter? We are, as you have seen many times, we do have a small short clip of video footage that we do believe is the person that we're looking for. And right now we don't have any evidence to suggest that it was more than that individual which has been seen in that video. Are you confident the campus is secure right now and all the students are safe?
We have an enhanced police presence both on campus and throughout the city of Providence today to provide that confidence and assurance to not just the students on campus, but all the residents in my city. And ever since the initial shooting occurred, that first call that came in at 4:05 a day and a half ago, we have not received a single credible call for threat of violence or any sort of information to believe that there is an ongoing threat in any specific credible way. And so we understand that there is a high degree of anxiety. And after this individual was released last night, I understand that that anxiety level has risen in our community. But it's no different than a day ago, which is that we've continue to receive zero credible threats to our community, Brown or the broader community. And so we have an enhanced police presence to try to give that comfort, that sense of security, and the search and the investigation is ongoing.
Does the evidence suggest this was a student or someone from off campus?
We can't comment on that, and we're exploring all possible leads.
Mayor, thank you for your time this morning.
You ain't trying to freeze your hands off this winter. These gloves might be for you. Not only are they waterproof, they're thermal heated with polyester fiber, which contain
out. John.
And Erica, all of that new video comes from this neighborhood just steps from the campus. One of the videos shows that man walking right down this street toward this building where those students were shot.
There is no information that the investigative team has about motive. Zero.
Zero.
It is a stark reminder that 3 days in, the investigation is still in its infancy. Investigators are now hoping new video of a person of interest leads to his identification.
We believe that he was actually casing out this area.
Hours before the shooting, he's seen walking through a neighborhood a block from campus, going up and down streets, at times running, and at one point wearing a sling bag, though that satchel isn't visible in other videos.
As you can see in the video, the satchel's on, sometimes it's not on. He has a heavy coat on. He has something in front of his abdomen. He could have hit this satchel.
The man is also seen as this car approaches an intersection. You see him walking right in front of the engineering building where gunfire erupted minutes later. Notably, none of the video comes from inside the older section of that building where the students were shot.
In that older part of the building, there are fewer, if any, cameras in that location. I imagine because it's an older building.
Some of the last images of the man police are looking for come just as officers respond to the shooting. In the distance, you see him crossing the street and then casually walking away as chaos unfolds. Investigators insist they're making progress, but they're still waiting for that critical tip.
Just need a little bit of patience, as hard as it is to say that in this really horrible context.
Now, investigators do believe that that man was in this neighborhood really for much of the day on Saturday, and they say it's possible he visited this neighborhood in the days and weeks leading up to this shooting. Live in Providence tonight, John Atwater, WCVB News Center 5.
Okay, so, and that was fair use, by the way. That was ABC News. That was about 37 minutes ago. So you got to ask yourself this now. I don't know if y'all remember, but I really don't care about revealing my age. But we're going to go back. We're going to go back to the 80s. We're going to go back to around 1983, 1984. Guy walks into the post office after he loses his job and decides that he wants to shoot up the post office. Okay, you can go look this up. The first mass shooting in the 80s. It was one before that out in California at the McDonald's. And I think it was, I can't remember what city it was in. I saved the video. 77 minutes that these people opening fire on this McDonald's in California. Then a couple of years later, the guy walks into the post office, his job. Now, this is the difference. Shooting up a place just randomly that you might not have liked, or something might have happened, or it was a robbery, whatever the case may have been, that's one thing. But going into your job and shooting up your job after you got fired, they call that going postal. If y'all didn't know that already. But in this age, 2025, we've been seeing school shootings every single year. Since what, 96? Maybe. We know Columbine was the first major, big major thing that happened in a school, high school. That was in 99. Then another elementary school, that was in 2000, 2001, 2002, somewhere around there. And then they just kept happening. This year alone, look up how many school shootings have happened just this year. So we got the university being shot up. No motive behind it, though. So, you know, we're people on the planet. So we have relationships with each other, no matter where we go. We have interactions with each other, no matter where we go. School campuses, restaurants, parks, driving up and down the street, football games, basketball games, any of the 9 people, any of the 9 areas of activity: education, entertainment, economics, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. We have interaction with each other. So, what type of relationships are we forming with one another? What type of things are we doing with each other? We're just talking about everyday people. You walk out your house, you jump in your car, you drive to the store. Walk in, you might want to grab you a coffee, go to the grocery store, grab you a couple groceries. You see some people, you say, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? You know, just being cordial, whatever. Or do you just walk through your cart, you know, with the look on your face like you don't want nobody talking to you? Get all of your stuff, and then you out of there. But we all have interactions with each other. So what goes on at these places? What goes on in these schools? What goes on in these areas where you have teenagers, young adults, all in the same area? They're learning, they're doing all the, what type of interaction are they having with each other? Does this guy just come out of nowhere? Where'd he come from? See, this is the thing that needs to be figured out. All of these people that are doing these shootings, all of these people that are taking part in the stuff that's going on that's hurting other people, where do they come from? What type of background do they have? Where are they being manufactured at? Because I guess, you know, if you ask me, there's so many people in the world right now that just don't like human beings. They can't stand people. They don't even like being around other people. They much rather just be by themselves. So do they get so off into that mindset in that world that they decide, well, you know, since I really don't like nobody, first of all, let me go, you know, pack up the automatic. I got ammo, you know, I've been buying for the last 5, 6, 7 months. Stuff it in the bag. We're going to walk up the block real quick, or I'm going to hop in the car, drive across town, post up somewhere where I know nobody's paying no attention to me because I done it so many times before. Load my weapon up, get everything together I need to get together. And then as soon as I get the opportunity, I'm going to open up the door, slide out real quick. I'm just going to walk up the street like ain't nothing happening until I get to the destination. And then I'm just going to walk in and I'm just going to start firing. Don't nobody in there know what you're doing it for. They have no idea why you're doing it. And how did you get the gun on the campus? That's right. You just walking around the streets. We just walking around. And people looking at you and they ain't really even paying no attention to you like, you know, okay. Because what are they thinking? Nobody's going to do anything, you know. Why wouldn't anybody want to hurt us? Why wouldn't anybody want to come on our Ivy League campus in Providence, Rhode Island, all the way at the top of the map, one of the smallest states up there, and shoot up a school for what? Why? I mean, have you ever really thought about that? These people, no matter who they are, a lot of them really wish that it was always us doing these random acts, but it's not. But these people are walking around every day with a healthy hatred of the human race, to the point to where they're shooting up schools, parks, games, all types of places, all types of things. So, I mean, I say it like this, man. It's really time for us to start looking at self, seriously looking at self. Not just a little bit, but a lot more than what we do. Because if we don't start trying to figure out this thing and getting it right, it's going to come a time where the God is going to really get tired of watching us do what we do. I mean, you know, he got talked out of literally destroying man in the Old Testament. I'm saying he talked himself out of it. He decided not to. I mean, it's just, can you destroy your child? I mean, would you buy a brand new TV and get mad because the concept of the channel changed that you usually watch, and would you break your TV because something changed on it? I mean, would you really, you know, so God is looking at it like this, like, do I really want to destroy my creation? I mean, I know I can make another one, but I got to give it the same exact thing that I gave the first people. I got to give them the spirit. I got to breathe into them and make them a living soul. So no, I don't want to destroy my child. I really don't want to. So I'm going to have to figure something out. So let me start sending some messengers and some people to tell them that they need to start acting a little bit better, you know, so I won't do to them what I just did to everybody in Noah's area. I just flooded them all out because I got tired of them thinking and doing every abomination under the sun. That was just 6,000 plus years ago. Don't seem like a long time ago. Seems like a long time ago, but it really wasn't. Because that was just during the last 10,000 years. So what are we doing? Why are we shooting up schools? Why are we shooting up islands? Where was that island overseas that they just, I mean, it's so, I could just put in here, I'm just going to put in here mass shootings. That's all I'm just going to put that in. Look, Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia. You know, Sydney? Look at this. This is what we're doing now. Bondi mass shooting. Look at this.
Tonight in Australia, horror and heroism. Thousands running for their lives down Sydney's famous Bondi Beach. As police say, two shooters, a father and son, opened fire with long guns on a Jewish community event celebrating the first night of Hanukkah.
A father and son, huh?
At least 15 people were killed, including a 10-year-old girl and a Holocaust survivor, and around 40 more wounded in what authorities say was a targeted terrorist attack.
An act of evil anti-Semitism, terrorism that has struck the heart of our nation.
Of the two gunmen, the father was killed, police say. His 24-year-old son in custody in critical condition. 3 law enforcement sources tell NBC News the son's name is Naveed Akram.
I think what was the most shocking was how long the gunfire lasted. Like the shots were going on for ages, by multiple minutes.
This is the moment a bystander leapt into action, wrestling what appears to be a shotgun from one of the attackers. His name is Ahmed Al-Ahmed, a father of two who owns a nearby fruit shop, according to Australia's Channel 7. His family says he was shot in the hand and arm.
We hope he will be fine. He's a hero. 100% he's a hero.
Tonight, his bravery is being hailed worldwide, including by the president.
And saved a lot of lives, so very brave person who's
This
right down
jerk.
the hospital.
Israel's prime minister accusing Australia's leader of being weak on anti-Semitism.
You let the disease spread, and the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today.
Among the dead, Rabbi Eli Schlanger.
Joy and happiness, prosperity.
A representative of the Chabad Jewish organization, remembered for his commitment to spreading joy.
Raf is joining us now. And in Australia, Raf, gun deaths are relatively rare. This is a place with strict gun laws. And we're learning one of the shooters did have a gun license.
Yeah, Hallie, police are saying the father had legally purchased 6 guns. They found some of them at the crime scene. Others they recovered during a raid at the shooter's family home. Police also saying they disarmed 2 rudimentary bombs they found in a car parked at the scene of the shooting. Hallie.
We thank you for.
So that was in Australia. Bondi or Bondi Beach. Father and son. So yeah, hey son, what you doing now? Look, man, listen. We're gonna go down to this beach. You got the okay. Grab the bag. We're gonna go down to this beach and we're gonna show out. We're just gonna open fire on a whole bunch of Jewish people and we're just gonna kill them. We're gonna try to kill as many of them as we can. Where did that come from? I mean, this is the question that I'm asking. Do y'all even think about where some of this thinking comes from? Do you even have an idea why somebody would just decide one day that they want to get up and just go kill? Okay, what did Jewish people ever do to him to make him want to kill them all? I mean, and for the record, I'm letting y'all know right now, being Jewish is not like being a whole nother ethnicity or race. That had no. Okay. These are all Caucasian people, pretty much. Anybody else who converts to Judaism, they just call them converts. They don't call them Jews. It's only a certain group of people who get called that. Okay. They'll say, I'm Jewish, or I converted to Judaism. But it's only a certain group of people that called themselves Jews specifically. Okay. So all of those people that was on that beach celebrating Hanukkah, Shabbat, what they say, Shabbat, the Shabbat Sabbath. I think that's what that was. The weekend of the Sabbath. So they were celebrating Saturday, Friday and Saturday. What would be the purpose behind that? And then you got Netanyahu going on here talking about anti-Semitism. He need to stop with that. Seriously. He need to stop. This is Australia. Okay. This is Australia. There are no Semitic people in Australia like that. The Semitic people in Australia will probably look like me or look like my nieces and nephews. A majority of the people on this planet who call themselves Jews are converts to Judaism. Okay. And for the most part, most of them have no connection at all to Israel. They call what they call Israel right now, what they was calling Palestine back in the time of Jesus. Before that, what did they call it? There was no name for it. There was no name for it, but there was a name for the people. The children of Israel were the people. The Israelites were the people. Okay. There was no Israel back then. There was no Israel back then. And I got my study Bible right here. I could prove it in no amount of time by just opening up the book and just showing some maps. Wherever they put the word Israel in, it had to be after 1948, because it wasn't called Israel until after 1948, the land mass. That's what the land mass was called. So, Bondi Beach in Australia. Brown University. Now, all of this in one weekend. Hanukkah. They were celebrating Hanukkah. Okay. All of this happens in one weekend. So what's going on with the world today? I mean, have y'all really ever asked yourself that question? What's going on with the world today? All of these shootings happen. You know, Jesus said it was going to be pestilence, wars and rumors of wars. You know, in Timothy, you know, people were going to be haters of each other. And when you hate something, you want to get rid of it. And when you want to get rid of something, you usually want to find some place to put it, or you want to kill it. So see, this ain't your usual conversation. You know, this ain't that weirdo shit that y'all be talking, excuse my language, but I'm just keeping it a butt. This ain't that weirdo stuff that y'all be talking about on these channels. We're talking about real deal, real live stuff that's going on right now. How do you explain that? And some of y'all wonder. I don't wonder why y'all say y'all don't want to have any children in this type of world. But who created this type of world? Where did it come from? Where did we learn to do all of this evil? Where did we learn to do all of this killing and stuff from? And when I say we, I'm talking about the human family. And no, I just can't blame it on just the white man, because, you know, I mean, before he was here, it was just us. So how was we treating each other when we was on the planet? Were we treating each other with freedom, justice, and equality? I mean, hey, we got a whole moon out there that they just now figured out used to be a part of the earth. Now, did nothing crash into the earth and break a chunk off and put it out there? That didn't happen, because it would still be a crater where that part of the moon, it didn't fill in. That's not how things work. If a meteor was to hit this planet right now, it'll cause a whole bunch of stuff to happen. It probably wouldn't split the planet in half, but it would cause some stuff to happen. It wouldn't take a chunk out of it. It'll be a hole in it of some sort that you'll be able to go to and see because something hit it. But it's a whole moon out there that used to be a part of this planet. How did that get out there? They've been trying to tell us for the longest that it got out there from, oh, something hit the earth and said, no. No. We would see actual proof of that. But you know what they did say? When they took some rocks off the moon, they smell like gunpowder. Look it up. Don't you ain't got to believe what I say. Look up what Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin said. Look up what they said. You know, because when they came back from the moon and told the FBI and told the government what they knew, they told them they couldn't talk to nobody about that. And if we catch you talking to somebody about that, we coming to get you pretty much, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Mass shootings. Mass shootings. People losing their minds pretty much over the stuff that they're doing, you know, murders due to addictions and due to drug abuse or whatever. Then you got overly emotional people, you know, who just don't know how to deal with the truth or understand the truth. I mean, this is the world we're living in today. You know, we got a whole social media site. If you want to find a healthy dose of hate, all you got to do is go to that specific website and you'll be able to encounter all the hate that you want to encounter. All the blatant racism, sexism, misogynist conversations, all of that stuff. All you have to do is visit the website. It's all right there. You know, you can't miss it. And they got it to the point now where they have so much fun with it that, it's just social media, man. That's all it is. It's just social media. That's it. Ain't that big of a deal, man. Don't make it that big of a deal until somebody get hurt behind it. Till somebody get their face smacked up because they done jumped in front of some dude with the camera talking about they want to film them and try to make them look like a fool. Like the girl that got smacked. You know, the girl that got 3-pieced up when the chick started asking her some questions that she didn't feel comfortable with. You know, I don't like you talking to me like that. And pieced her up real good right there on the live. Yeah. It's getting to that point, you know. So y'all social media influencers, y'all better be careful. You know, because you catch the wrong one at the wrong time, you might get pieced up, like literally, you know, bing, 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 binged up real quick, like saying the wrong thing to somebody. You know, that's why I call this an open conversation, because we just talking about random stuff, you know, like random stuff. But these are the things that's been going on around us here just the last couple of days. Like that quick, you know. Everybody been talking about the Diddy documentary. They've been talking about, I mean, look at all of this stuff going on around you. Well, who do you listen to? Who do you trust to give you some clear information on these things that's happening? See, this is freestyle. I'm just doing this based on my thoughts. You know, I got presentations ready for videos, and I'm gonna give y'all a couple this week. Presentation form, getting the slides and everything put together so we can go through it. But man, I'm just saying, for the record, this is an open conversation, you know. Can y'all really think about what's going on right now? I mean, I know it's okay to live life and everything, but damn, bro, you know, It's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. Some of us ain't privy to. Some of us don't even care about it. As long as it don't touch us, why should we care? So I don't give a damn. It ain't happening over here. My children ain't involved in it. I'm not involved in it. So why should I care about what happened? Then they start changing laws and statutes, and you go over here to do this, and then you can't do it no more. But you can't do it because of that thing you wasn't really paying no attention to. That happened a couple of months ago, and now they done turned it into a whole nother law and just dropped it in your lap. Then what do? Well, damn, what's this now? Why I gotta do it like this now? Hold on, hey, what happened that day? Can you pull that video up for me? And then you watch the video and you like, man, I was watching that. I wasn't even thinking. Right. You wasn't even thinking nothing about that because it didn't happen to you. But it happened. As a human family, we really have to do better. We really have to do better. That's all of us. You know, we've always been the topic of the conversation. We've been the topic of the conversation since we set foot on this landmass over 470 years ago. We've been the topic of the conversation. Now everybody else is the topic, and they don't like it. They can't stand it. It was always about making sure we didn't do anything to nobody. Now you can't even control yourself. You can't even keep yourself from, you can't even keep from hurting each other. But why would you be worrying about us if you can't even keep from hurting each other? You know, some Christians don't like the Jews. Some Catholics don't like the Jews. You know, some Muslims don't like the Jews. Or whatever the case may be, Jews don't like the Christians. Jews don't like the Muslims because they think they terrorists. I mean, it's just a whole rigmarole of stuff. But when you got a man talking about all of that stuff needs to be put to the side, the slate needs to be clean, and it begins with truth. Because that was the first casualty when all of these wars started. Truth fell in the streets. Truth got popped up and drug into the warehouse to just die off all by itself. While chaos, destruction, and everything else was all out here just jumping into people. Not in the literal sense. I'm just saying the mark of the beast in your forehead and in your hands. What do you think that means? You know, our teacher taught us that it means the thinking turns into the action. So if you got evil thoughts, it usually turns into evil actions. So you're out here doing the devil's bidding by thinking like the devil and carrying out the actions of your thoughts like the devil. And the devil is the worker. You know, Satan is the employee. The employee. Satan is the employer. The devil is the employee. So the Satan makes the devils, and the devils carry out whatever they need to carry out on behalf of Satan. So I'm just saying, man, open conversation, Clear Vision Media, Clear Vision Conversations. This is what we talking about, man. All that other mess, it's so many other channels out there you can talk about that talk about so much nonsense. You can find some nonsense there. Over here, you're gonna find some real conversation. I'm not trying to be like nobody else. I'm here to be myself. So this is your brother 20. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the comments. On the 18th of this month, which is just a couple of days from now, I got a deluxe edition of volume 3 of my personal thought series. It's called Knowledge Itself, dropping on the 18th. You know, I would appreciate y'all if y'all check that out. It's going to be on all platforms, including right here on YouTube. Then I got some plans to do some other things, you know, at a later date. So, yeah, man, come on over here, you know. And like we used to say, come over here and holler at your guy. You know, I'm going to start going live probably once, twice a week, you know, or not once, twice a day, you know, every day of the week. I'm going to do an early one and I'm going to do a late one. Just trying to figure out the times right now. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, comment on the video when it's up. Let me know what you think. And yeah, be on the lookout, because you know I'm about to I'm about to come with it. I'm about to come with it. So this is your brother 20, and I'm out. Peace.
In this current climate, day and time, information needs to be given clearly. In this case, Clear Vision with 2020 is a podcast for the people, by the people, that does exactly that. Your host keeps an open eye and mind when dealing with any issue at hand. We empower our audience with knowledge. You matter. And here, I use my voice to support and represent the people. The people are the human family who loves truth. Logical thinking and conversation skills are required for communication. News, culture, music, and entertainment with a clear look from a different perspective. Clear Vision.